Good afternoon and welcome to the Standing Committee meeting for Monday, November 20th, 2023. Our first order of business is roll call. Would the clerk please take the roll?
Reverend Burgess, Mr. Coghill, Ms. Gross,
Here.
Mr. Kraus, Mrs. Kale-Smith, Mrs. Strasburger,
Here.
Mrs. Warwick,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Mr. Lavelle Chair.
Here.
5 members present.
Thank you. Our next order of business is public comment. I would like to remind all speakers of the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before city council, and profanity is not permitted. After you are called, please restate your name, provide your neighborhood for the record. You will be given 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Naomi Mullen. Currently on mute, Ms. Mullen. I will come back to Ms. Mullen. Our next registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller, Tokyo, Japan. Vote by voter verification and uncensored freedom of speech and public comment are key to what I do. Global Intelligence Society candidate for president 2024. GlobalIntelligenceSociety.org is the primary website. If you're having trouble with that, GlobalIntelligenceSociety.org/?123, press enter. A concern of council is the city budget and commentary out of the office of mayor. And so on the 13th of November, on Monday, Mr. Gainey is here and offered comment. Mr. Gainey stressed the imperative of achieving equity. No tax increase, Gainey said, but put in a local graduated income tax and pull out the flat anti-equity and, to me, most potently, materially anti-inequality tax. Gainey, no. Miller, yes. Mr. Gainey signaled the importance of collaboration generally and for our children specifically and ideally. 10 June 2022 at 11:25 a.m., I emailed Gainey regarding my globe dome system, the GDS, to establish 9 district globe structures to provide protection and education for our children. 10 June 2022 at 11:44, 1:44, I got an email regarding the GDS titled "From Ed Gainey," but it was not from Gainey. 24 June 2022, I emailed Gainey again, insisting reply from Gainey, not non-Gainey Pamela Carter. What, is she an alter of his? But there was no Gainey reply. This is a lie and loathing, really. This is Gainey's version of collaboration concerning our children. 2 of our children who are now over 18, Black African descent, one on my right, one on my left, listened to Gainey. Between Gainey's speech and the council meeting, Gainey came over to where I and the boys sat, but Gainey did not say, "Good morning, Dr. Miller. Thank you for coming. I don't have to be here. I represent opposition, but collaboration as well." No collaboration from him on this. But Gainey did say, over here to the boys, come and have a picture with me. Color him father.
Thank you. We'll go back to Naomi Mullen.
Here. Shady trees, not shady deals in Bon Air. This was read at my husband's funeral. Michael J. Mullen Reflection by Battalion Chief Douglas Krakowicz. Retired Deputy Chief Mike Mullen touched the lives of many people. His uncompromising dedication to his sworn duty to provide for the safety of the citizens of Pittsburgh was truly exceptional. and one that should be emulated by every firefighter. He loved sharing his knowledge of firefighting in all its many aspects to make our firefighters safer, smarter, and more efficient on the fire ground. Mike knew most of the firefighters on the entire Pittsburgh Bureau of Fire by their first name and was always approachable, regardless of rank. He worked tirelessly, but also energetically his entire career in pursuit of more knowledge. His legacy will serve our citizens and firefighters for years to come. Mike was a loving, compassionate husband, father, brother, relative, and friend. Michael J. Mullen lived a full life as his obituary so accurately described. Mike was passionate, tireless, dedicated, highly conscientious, and caring. Well done, Michael. Well done. Rest in peace, my friend. A first responder memorial green space is the solution for the peace, safety, and happiness of the Bon Air community, not a detrimental school. Declaration of Rights. What are the rights set forth in the Declaration of Rights of the Pennsylvania Constitution? The Declaration of Rights of the Pennsylvania Constitution predates and was a model for the Bill of Rights of the United States Constitution. It is primarily a list of don'ts for the General Assembly in that it prohibits the enactment of laws that would infringe on certain rights. Those rights and prohibitions are set forth in the 28 sections of the Declaration. Section 2, political power. All political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness. For the advancement of these ends, they have at all times an inalienable and indefeasible right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in such manner as they may think proper. We, the people of Bon Air, have tried for over 2 years to have the Bon Air school building torn down and turned into a green space. Self-proclaimed friends of the mayor and city employees are encouraging developers to buy the school. The school board would rather spend multiple times the price of the building.
Thank you. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. If there's anyone in chambers wishing to speak, please come forward at this time. Provide your name, neighborhood for the record. You will also be given 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Juan F. Brown. And I came back again because I want you to understand why I speak the way I do. I want you to understand when I talk about colorism. You might not, but let me explain. When I had my son, Anthony Johnson, my sister came to the hospital. Now with black children, you can tell what color they're gonna be by their ears. So she had looked, she said, "Ooh, he's gonna be a dark one. He's gonna be a dark one." And he was, because within 6 weeks, he was the color of a copper penny. Now that's really dark for what black people think as babies. Let me explain so you can. As I moved on Raleigh Street and my baby was a day old, I moved in. The next day, there was a woman knocking on the door. So she said her name and that she had a baby too. But this baby was born July the 4th. So she said, well, we can come and we can sit and we can talk, and that's what we did. Now, my baby being dark, I don't believe in putting dark colors. So when I used to go out to Homestead, and there was a little store, and I found a pastel blue. I mean, it was powder blue, beautiful, with white. So I had bought that, and we go over to her with my baby, and she looks at him, and she says to me, "Oh, he's too dark for that blue." She had bought a dark blue with a stripe. She wanted to change colors. And I said, no, if as dark as he is, if I put him in dark brown, or you won't even see him. Now, I'm trying to explain to you what it was, what this history is from being slaves, because it was said like this: if you white, you all right. You black, step back. If you yellow, you mellow. This is the stuff that black people say. So you had this light-complected woman tell me about my black baby has to be put in black because blue is too light for him. Colorism, and you know it, Mr. Lavelle, as light as you are, you know how you light people get treated better than with the dark. Because you keep on bringing Tim Stevens down here with his light complected self, talking about his half-white kids, that my half-white kids. Hey, my son was black and he was on the floor begging for his life. 5 white cops when he was saying, if I could only breathe. If I could only breathe. He had blood coming. They say about the blood coming out his head. And when they leave him on the floor and say, if this troublemaker start anymore, that's the house that he was living with. He lived with that woman. He walked in the door and got knocked out. But I'm telling you, this colorism, you just play it here. Tim can come in here. You even gave him an invoice. I'm looking for it. I was trying to find it. I think you gave him $500. He can come down here and get money. He can speak. Esther Bush can't speak. Any black people can't speak, but he can. And you give him money too? Come on now. You got to be better than that.
Thank you very much. Any further speakers? Any further speakers? Seeing none, that takes us to our standing committee agenda. Our first committee is Finance and Law, chaired by myself. Our first new paper is Bill 2146.
Bill 2146, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of a single payment in 2023 to Evelyn Mary Miller and her attorneys Woomer and Tallarico LLC at a cost not to exceed $35,000 in full and final settlement of litigation.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. Madam Clerk, if you would read Bills 2147 through 2161, these are all annual authorization budget bills, and they all need held for a public hearing.
Bill 2147, resolution authorizing the City of Pittsburgh to participate in applicable cooperative purchasing agreements for goods, materials, equipment, supplies, services, or construction as authorized by the Commonwealth Procurement Code and the Pennsylvania Intergovernmental Cooperation Law for the 2024 fiscal year. Bill 2148, resolution providing for the letting of contracts and for the use of existing contracts for the purchase of materials, supplies, and equipment for city departments and the maintenance, repair, rental, and/or leasing, rehabilitation, renovation, inspection, or servicing of city buildings and facilities, and for any miscellaneous services in and for any city departments, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof for the 2024 fiscal year. Bill 2149, resolution adopting and approving the 2024 capital budget, the proposed 2024 community development program, and the 2024 through 2029 capital improvement program. Bill 2150, resolution making appropriations to pay the expenses of conducting the public business of the City of Pittsburgh and for meeting the debt charges thereof for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024. Bill 2151, resolution fixing the number of officers and employees of the City of Pittsburgh for the 2024 fiscal year and the rate of compensation thereof, and setting maximum levels for designated positions. Bill 2152, resolution authorizing City Council to approve intra-departmental transfers throughout the 2024 fiscal year. Bill 2153, resolution authorizing appropriations and salaries of the Stop the Violence Fund for the 2024 fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024. Bill 2154, resolution authorizing appropriations, salaries, and capital expenditures of the Parks Trust Fund for the 2024 fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024. Bill 2155, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh for the administration of certain 2024 PAYGO-funded projects and programs, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $2,750,000. Bill 2156, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title II Fiscal, Article 7, Business-Related Taxes, Chapter 245, Earned Income Tax, Section 245.03, Declaration and Payment of Tax, at subsection D, so as to fix the rate of interest on delinquent earned income tax for the year 2024. Bill 2157, resolution authorizing all city departments in conjunction with the Department of Finance to enter on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh into a facilities usage agreement or agreements during the 2024 calendar year for the purpose of permitting groups to rent city-owned facilities for recreational and community-focused activities in individual amounts not to exceed $10,000. Bill 2158, resolution authorizing the fee schedule for 2024 pursuant to Chapter 170 of the City Code. Bill 2159, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title II Fiscal, Article 7, Business-Related Taxes, Chapter 246, Home Rule Tax, Section 246.03, Declaration and Payment of Tax, at subsection D, so as to fix the rate of interest on delinquent home rule tax for the year 2024. Bill 2160, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title II Fiscal, Article 9, Property Taxes, Chapter 263, Real Property Tax and Exemptions, Section 263.02, Payment Options, Discount and Delinquency Penalty, so as to set the payment, discount, and delinquent dates for the 2024 fiscal year. And Bill 2161, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title II Fiscal, Article 9, Property Taxes, Chapter 263, Real Property Tax and Exemption, by fixing the rate of real estate taxation for 2024.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All bills will be held for a cablecast public hearing. Thank you. We have one deferred paper, Bill 2122.
Bill 2122, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of a single payment in 2023 to 2826 Edwards Way Associates, LLC, and its attorneys McMillan Law Office, LLC, at a cost not to exceed $174,320 in full and final settlement of litigation.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. That takes us to invoices. We need a motion to approve the invoices.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Invoices are approved. Need a motion to approve the interdepartmental transfers.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Transfers are approved. That takes us to Public Safety and Wellness Committee, chaired by Councilman Coghill. One paper, Bill 2144.
Bill 2144, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of public safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with Allegheny County and the Department of Justice's Edward Byrne Justice Assistance Grant for the purpose of receiving and spending grant funds in the amount of $85,000 to support the purchase of new holsters.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. Thank you for being here. That takes us to Public Works and Infrastructure Committee, chaired by Councilman Kraus. One new paper, Bill 2164.
Bill 2164, resolution authorizing the taking, appropriating, and condemning by the City of Pittsburgh of certain easements necessary for the completion of temporary support work for land stabilization around Andover Terrace for public transportation purposes through eminent domain, and further authorizing the payment of just compensation and necessary and incidental acquisition costs related thereto at an amount not to exceed $19,000.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I need to abstain. Affirmative recommendation. That takes us to Human Resources Committee, chaired by Councilman Burgess. We have one supplemental paper, Bill 2189.
Bill 2189, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Burnalong, Inc. at a cost not to exceed $20,004 for unlimited access to the Burnalong, Inc. Health and Wellness Video Platform and Community Exercise Programs.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. That takes us to Land Use and Economic Development Committee, chaired by Councilman Wilson. Our first deferred paper is Bill 1817.
Bill 1817, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code, Title IX, Zoning Code, Article 6, Chapter 919, Signs, to regulate the use of non-advertising signs for major public destination facilities in the RIVNS district.
Motion to send the planning commission for a board recommendation.
Second.
With discussion, Councilman Wilson, I apologize. I forgot to reach out to you. They are still in conversation with the planning commission, so if you would withdraw that and make a motion to hold for 6 weeks.
Make a motion to withdraw and hold. I'm sorry, we gotta make the motion first and then.
Yeah, if you just withdraw your motion, withdraw your second.
Withdraw.
Yeah, withdraw the motion.
And Council President withdrew her second. If you would now
And
make
then, motion to hold for 6 weeks.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill be held for 6 weeks. Thank you, Councilman. That takes us to Bill 2084.
Bill 2084, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement or agreements with various community-based organizations for the implementation of the 2023 Neighborhood Economic Development Program and to provide for the payment of the cost thereof at a cost not to exceed $500,000.
Motion to hold 1 week.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill be held 1 week. That takes us to Innovation Performance Asset Management Committee and Technology Committee, chaired by Councilwoman Warwick. Our first new paper is Bill 2162.
Bill 2162, resolution authorizing the mayor, the director of public safety, and the director of innovation and performance to enter into a professional service agreement or agreements with e-approval to provide film and event permitting application software at an overall cost to the city not to exceed $250,000 over 5 years.
Motion to approve.
Discussion, Councilman?
I just want to make sure, was there an RFP that went out for this? And how long ago? It's not a continuous, it's a new one, right? It's a new, it's a new contract, right? Okay, and a recent RFP went out. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. Bill 2163.
Bill 2163, resolution amending Resolution 650 of 2022, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into an agreement or agreements or amendments thereto with change agents training for access to their learning management system and consultative assistance to adapt the City of Pittsburgh Gold Belt Workshop for e-learning by increasing the approved amount by $36,000 for an additional 1 year, with option to renew for one more year, $18,000 per year, for an amended total cost not to exceed $72,000.
Motion to approve. Second.
Discussion.
Discussion, Madam President?
I just want to understand this. So it's I want to understand that there's an agreement to amend an agreement, right, that we already had, to add additional funds, and then also allow them to continue this for $18,000 for another year. Is that right?
Yeah.
And were RFPs sent out for all this?
Well, I think it's an existing.
It's an existing contract.
It's an existing contract.
It was originally RFP.
When was the last time it was RFP'd?
That I don't know.
That I don't know. Director may be on.
Director, do you know? Please?
Director Norman is online, I believe.
Yeah, I'm worried about the financial part of it.
Oh, I see.
Oh, Director, she just popped on the screen. Director
Okay.
Norman may be able to answer your question, Madam
Okay.
President.
Well, first, do you know?
Pete McDevitt, Council Budget Director. So this started in 2021. So it went for 2 years, and this would tack on, would pay for 2023 and add 2024, from what I understand. But I would defer to Director Norman to correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Director, could you explain a little bit about it?
Certainly, thank you. My name is Heidi Norman. I'm the Director of the Department of Innovation and Performance. The organization here is Change Agents Training, and they helped us back in 2021 to take our Gold Belt program, which is a training program offered to all city staff to improve and make processes more efficient and effective within their workplace. They helped us take that training, which had been in person, online. And this is a request to extend that contract to pay for this year and next year.
Is there a reason why you didn't start a new RFP and try to see if anybody else responded? Because this is a continuum I'm noticing with public safety and with IMP, that there's a lot of continual contracts instead of a new RFP and a new opportunity to give people the chance to bid on them. So I just want to make sure, try to understand this a little bit.
Certainly, thank you. So with the training, the Gold Belt training, was actually created in conjunction with Change Agents training. There is no other organization that offers this specific training that we
Wouldn't that come out in a bid
use for our
process?
Gold Belt program.
Wouldn't that come out in an RFP process so we could see that? I think that would be helpful to see that. And we're
See
here
if
to,
anyone else, they're the ones that develop the training, so there isn't a possibility that another organization
okay.
offers.
And then you said it's important to help make us more efficient. How so?
So what we do is we offer this to all city staff, and they come to the program with a problem that they're wrestling with. It's usually a process that takes too long or is duplicative in some way, and is wasting the time of both the staff who are trying to complete the process and the service for our residents as well as our residents. Staff learn basic tools and techniques for improving processes within their workflows, and we have a large number of examples. You can see them both in the emails that are sent out for the Gold Belt training approvals, the all user emails where we're asking people to register, as well as on the 6th floor outside of the Learning Lab conference room. We have a whole row of posters showing what city staff from all different departments have done to make their processes more efficient. The two examples that we gave in our summary here one was from Eric Miazga, who saw departments spending between 20 and 30 hours to make their web pages. And he leveraged the experience with the city to develop a new design process. His in-house design process cut the time to set up a web page by 95%. And now the sites are easier to create, update, and use. So that's an example of what one person can do when they learn these types of techniques and tools.
What I think is that still an RFP should have went out. So I'm not going to be supportive today, but I will say that I'm not going to keep allowing things to come on this agenda for the next few weeks if RFPs do not go out. That's one of the things I ask our budget office, I ask our solicitor, and I ask our clerk to make sure that they look over before they come to the table so that city council's not putting ourselves in a difficult situation. It's an RFP you can do for a week if you wanted to do it for a week, and it would come out whatever. If it was something that was not okay, or that they were a sole source or something, it would all come out in that process. So for that, I'm just going to say I'm going to vote no today. Thank you, and I hope you feel better, Director. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Councilman Wilson.
I apologize, I didn't see your hand go up, Councilman Wilson. Councilman Wilson?
Sorry, I'm not used to being online when I had to raise my hand. But which bill are we on?
Bill 2163.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so I was listening to the president's comments, and although this isn't a large amount, I just wanted to get some clarification. If they are the only place in town that does this type of work, I believe, it would be good to understand more from our procurement office, but I believe the request for qualification is what we would want to see. So like we would put out the service, and then, it's still some sort of process that happens. But so I'm not really deep in the weeds on this. I'm just listening to everything, and just trying to point out that there was a process we did for RIP medical debt, and that was the request for qualifications avenue, because it was unique. There wasn't anyone else that did that type of service in the U.S. So I guess I just want more clarity on, as we move forward with understanding if there's an RFP done or not, in cases like this, it'd be helpful to know if there was a request for qualifications as well. Do you know, Director Norman?
Sorry, a request for qualification?
Sorry, somehow I lost my voice again in the past month. But yeah, a request for qualification on this 2163.
I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what that means. A request for qualification.
Okay. I'll follow up with the procurement office on this type of matter. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Warwick?
Yeah, so, I mean, just for clarity, so, correct me, Director, if I misspeak, but, so this was a training workshop developed specifically for us at the city of Pittsburgh, right? Like a live, in-person, maybe a class, I don't know if it was a classroom training. And so this is that same training that was developed specifically for us, just brought online, like brought into an online format, so you can do it from home or, so, I mean, just to say that to ask someone else, it would mean to maybe rebuild the training with another company. I mean, to bring another company in would be to like redo the training with another company. Anyway, go ahead, Director Nomer.
No, that is absolutely correct. They helped us deliver. They helped us design and develop the original training, which was in person. And then over the course of the pandemic, we worked with them to create an online version. This gives us continual access to their e-learning version throughout next year.
And just to clarify too, so because they developed the training for us, do they have some type of rights over the because they developed the training? I mean, even though it was in conjunction with us, or could we? I mean, I'm just for the RFP question, or could we kind of take that training?
They do have rights to that content.
So they have rights to the content of the training. So if we were to choose another vendor, we'd have to kind of start from scratch. We couldn't just take the, I don't know if it's.
That's correct. We would need to redevelop the class.
Okay. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any
Abstain.
opposed?
Oh, sorry.
One
Oh,
abstention.
no, I'm sorry. Oppose. I'm
One
opposed.
in opposition. Affirmative recommendation. Thank you. That takes us to our last committee of the day, Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs Committee, which is chaired by Councilwoman Gross. We have one bill, Bill 2145.
Bill 2145, resolution providing for a supplemental agreement or agreements with Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority to reimburse expenses of PWSA incurred for roadway base and pavement restoration performed by PWSA on behalf of utilities and the city in advance of the Bus Rapid Transit Project, not to exceed $696,705.92, an increase of $139,703.68 to the amount previously authorized by Resolution 474 of 2022.
Whose committee is this?
Councilwoman Gross had to log off to go attend an event.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Affirmative recommendation. That exhausts our agenda. We do have meeting announcements. On Tuesday, November 21st at 10 a.m., council budget hearings will continue with the Housing Authority and Pittsburgh Parking Authority, chaired by Councilwoman Gross. And at 1 p.m., the budget hearing will continue with the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, which is chaired by Councilman Kraus. Also, in observance of Thanksgiving holiday, council and the clerk's office will be closed on Thursday, November 23rd and Friday, November 24th. Is there anything from members?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
If not, and happy Thanksgiving. Need a motion to, Anthony wasn't here, excuse absent member, approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.